tensions are on the rise in the Middle East and beyond as the Israeli-Hamas war rages on and the humanitarian crisis in Gaza grows deeper. Protests are adding fuel to the fire. From Cairo to Tokyo, protesters chanted anti-Israel and anti-U.S. slogans, with one demonstration in Beirut turning violent. The anger follows an explosion at a hospital in Gaza in which Hamas claims nearly 500 people were killed. Israel denies any involvement. And President Joe Biden believes it was terrorists who blew up that hospital in Gaza, not Israel. And he says he bases his conclusion on the data from the U.S. Defense Department. The president was in Israel today, reaffirming support for America's top Mideast ally. White House Correspondent Owen Jensen reports. Owen?
Tracy, while in Tel Aviv today, President Joe Biden emphasized the U.S. has Israel's back as it defends itself. He also told Israelis, quote, "You are not alone."
As the war between Israel and Hamas intensifies, President Joe Biden sits down with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
I want to say to the people of Israel, their courage, their commitment, their bravery is stunning.
There's only one thing better than having a true friend like you standing with Israel, and that is having you standing in Israel.
President Biden also expressing both sorrow and anger following the hospital explosion in Gaza.
I was deeply saddened and outraged by the explosion at the hospital in Gaza yesterday. And based on what I've seen, it appears as though it was done by the other team, not you.
The explosion canceled a summit President Biden was set to attend in Jordan with other leaders.
We have 7,000 first responders.
Today, President Biden met with Israeli first responders and the families of those who were killed, wounded, or taken hostage by Hamas. And he joined Prime Minister Netanyahu at a meeting with Israel's war cabinet.
This will be a different kind of war because Hamas is a different kind of enemy. While Israel seeks to minimize civilian casualties, Hamas seeks to maximize civilian casualties.
President Biden says Israel has agreed to allow humanitarian assistance to begin flowing into Gaza from Egypt. The World Food Program saying people are at the risk of starvation. And before he flew back to the United States, President Biden with this warning to anyone thinking about attacking Israel.
Don't.
Now, regarding that humanitarian aid going into Gaza, President Biden warned Hamas against diverting or stealing the assistance. The president also announced $100 million in new U.S. funding for humanitarian assistance in both Gaza and the West Bank. At the White House, Owen Jensen, EWTN News Nightly.